Whoa. Ready? You ready to retire the colors? Retire the colors.
Color on. Colors down. Right. Hey.
Stay ready. Reform ranks. American 2. On the right. Quick. Walk.
Playing color.
If you remain standing, we have a performance of America the Beautiful by Jeremy Parker.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country love and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine.
This is Cameron. Hi, how are you, David Woycik? Cameron? Okay. If you'll please stand, continue standing, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance by Cameron Pika.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. God bless. Thank you very much.
Expertly trained service dogs for adults, veterans, and children and working professional who work with people in need. Thank you. So after 3 long years, it's great to be back in person to honor those brave men and women who have made sacrifices to serve and protect our country. Thank you to the committee and staff who worked diligently on this evening's event. Thank you to the Suffolk County Police Officers, Pipe Band, and Wantagh Fire Department for the color guard to add to this very special evening. And thank you to all of this evening's sponsors that you see listed on your sponsor cards in the program and rotating on the screen, with special thanks to AMVET riders who raised funds through a poker run this summer. It was about 90 degrees when they did that. Our friends from United Asset Strategies and the Penn Fed Credit Union, and of course, Colonel David Woycik and his wife, Carolyn. We have a great program for you here this evening, and your participation and generous financial contributions are supporting our Veteran Service Dog Initiative with placements of our expertly trained service dogs and ongoing support for 8 to 10 years of the working life of the dog. And hopefully you've had a chance to meet some of them here this evening. We have several that are scattered throughout, so please go say hello, talk to them when you have an opportunity, and let them share with you the impact that their dogs have had with their lives. And on your table, you'll find these baseball-like cards. And on the front is veteran service team, Ken and Zeus, who were matched last year and have joined us here tonight. And they are the team that was sponsored from last year's Salute Independence event. We did it virtually, and that's it right there. You're seeing what you've been able to help us do. Also, you'll find a challenge coin on your table. It's a special 10-year anniversary edition we made for last year's event. Unfortunately, we had to go virtual, so we thought we would share them as a commemorative piece for this evening. And as Deb just announced, we have a puppy naming, so please go up to the registration desk. Puppy naming in our organization is a very special thing. We name all of the dogs that we breed. We have our own breeding program. We breed about 700 to 900 dogs annually, and each one of them gets named either by a donor, by a staff person, by a volunteer who is a breeder caretaker and raises the puppies for their first 8 weeks of their lives. And we'd like to share that journey with you once that puppy is born and sent out to its volunteer. We'd like to share the 18-month journey with the volunteer, a training progress with you, and hopefully it gets to graduation and we can share that with that as well. So we invest more than $50,000 in each placement that we make, and we do not charge for our services. We're widely recognized for the quality and longevity of the placements that we make and our matches. Your support is not only impacting the recipient of the dogs, but it has a wide-reaching effect, ripple effect, within their communities. So you're helping to change lives, like Joe and Jem in this short video that we have.
We were performing security at a gate in Baghdad, and the local civilians were salvaging scrap, basically. An unexploded ordnance was stuck in the salvage area. It exploded, and it hit a young child and an older gentleman. One of my friends was one of the first people to respond. He provided aid, he packed them up. When he came back, and he's covered in blood, and I see the look in his eyes, and I'm like, this isn't the guy I knew 10 minutes ago. Just by the look in his face, I've never been able to get that image out of my head. And it didn't even happen to me, you know?
Today is the first day of team training for a veteran. He is coming for a service dog that provides physical tasks for him, such as retrieving dropped items, turning on lights in a room that he is entering, anxiety interruption, nightmare interruption, and also positional commands to create more space in public, such as front and behind. What we're doing today is pre-matching him with a potential dog. We have looked at his history, his needs, and we also have matched it with a dog that we find would match best for him. And we have very high hopes that this will be the right placement for him. So, Joe, you have been pre-matched with yellow lab golden cross female Gem.
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 Hi.
Release.
Oh. Hi.
Yeah, you can get on the floor with her. You could take that leash. There you go.
Gem is incredible. We're going through training and she makes everything look like we've been doing this forever. Every moment I know that, like, I'm doing something, I know that Gem is there and waiting and ready and prepared. I feel like we're a team, and it feels really good to feel like a part of that.
Perfect. And that's exactly how you can reel in that leash.
When I was younger, I didn't have a lot of people to look up to. I didn't really have something to look forward to. I didn't really have people getting my back and telling me, you're gonna do great things, you're gonna be amazing. But this is pre-9/11, there wasn't this great cause to really call, but I thought to myself, if I could serve, that would be more than what I am. And yeah, and it stuck. I spent 12 years in the military, so I got out, and for the first year, everything felt great. It was like the honeymoon period of being a civilian. And then slowly I started to see that things weren't as great as I thought they were. I didn't realize how much stress I was under. I didn't realize how much anxiety I was dealing with. I had these underlying conditions previously that I already knew I had, but I didn't understand how they were affecting my personal life or my life in the real world. Things just took a turn for me. I ended up in the hospital. I didn't realize all of the things I was doing to self-medicate, and that was a turning point. I met somebody who had gone through training here with canine companions, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. This dog is incredible. They do what? I had met service animals before, but I never quite understood just how deep the training and the bond between you and your service dog really is. I've heard it was a great organization, and I looked at the website and I've read materials, I did some homework beforehand, but I never imagined it would be as big as this is. I never imagined there'd be this amazing campus. It's one of those things where you walk in and you're just like, wow. I thought it was big before, but wow. Seeing everything that's happening, to know that it came out of the kindness of other people's hearts. I'm extremely thankful for all the people who have been involved in the process of raising Gem, the puppy raisers, the trainers who taught her all the things that they've done, and the people who've donated to the organization. I'm really looking forward to the moment when I get Gem home and introduce her to my family and her new life with us. I think more than anything, Gem represents to me the potential to be a better father, better husband, better participant in my family. I feel like this is where it all turns, and it all, not instantly better, but like the potential for amazing is there.
And I'm happy to say that was in May, and Joe and Gem are doing remarkable things together. They're doing things that Joe just was not able to do before, having Jem by his side, and it's very humbling to be able to help a person in that way, and that's what each of you are doing by being here this evening. And yesterday we started our last class of 3 veterans, and they got matched with their dogs this morning, and that was pretty moving. They were very excited and very emotional. And so for the next week and a half, they'll stay at our training facility out in Medford, and they'll learn how to work with their dogs and how to utilize them, and they'll be trained as well, as we have trained the dogs. Then they'll graduate next week, and they'll meet their volunteer puppy raiser who selflessly raised that puppy for 18 months and gave it back for a higher purpose to help someone else. And I just would like to acknowledge we do have some puppy raisers here this evening. Could you just either stand or raise your hand so we can thank you for all of the work that you do? And before we get to the next part of the program, I want to just take this opportunity to say thank you to all of the veterans in the room for your service. And I also, so could you stand? All the veterans, would you stand for a moment so we could? And I want to congratulate all the recipients for this evening and introduce our MC for the rest of the evening, and that is Colonel E. David Woycik, United States Army retired. He's a partner of the law firm of Sanders, Block, Woycik, Wiener, and Grossman in Mineola, New York. And as a colonel in the United States Army Reserves and Judge Advocate General Corps, Colonel Woycik has received numerous awards and ribbons for his service. He has served overseas in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait for Operation Desert Storm and Operation Enduring Freedom in the war against terrorism. Some of his awards include the Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Kuwait Liberation Medal, and Kuwait Global War on Terrorism Medal. His compassion for veterans with disabilities shows in his life and in his work each day, as he has served on the Regional Advisory Board of Canine Companions since 2010. And he has been a wonderful, wonderful friend to the organization and has helped us in numerous different ways and has been the force behind this event and all the funds that it has raised. So please join me in welcoming Colonel Woycik.
Thank you very much, and like to welcome everyone here tonight. We got a great showing, and it's great to be back after 3 years of the pandemic and COVID. All gave some, and some gave all. And many of you out there know of some individual, men or women, who gave their lives for the ultimate sacrifice. So if I would ask you to bow your heads for a moment of silence for those who are not with us. I'd like to thank the committee members who worked so hard to get this event going and keep on going for our 11th year. We have raised over $500,000 for this event. Give them a big round of applause. With our latest donation, Debbie, what I understand, we have raised $50,000 tonight. Thanks to you. It cost Canine Companions $50,000 to raise a dog. They do not get paid for their services throughout, but it's $50,000. So we are able to raise a dog, and we have named a dog tonight, and you're going to know what name the dog was given tonight because of your selection. I want to thank the committee members. A lot of the committee members work all year. We have meetings, Zoom. We have actual meetings in person. Anjar Sutner, Bob Madden, Danye Flood, Gary O'Rourke, Gary Leone, John Egner, Ken Hernandez, Kevin Vaughn, Matias Ferreira, Matt Hiller, Mike LaRocco, Mike Riccardi, Peter Hussey, Stephen Woods, Tony Sparaccio, Tracy Claudio. Give them a big round of applause. Also the staff, Debbie Doherty, who's our great Northeast Executive Director. For those, there are 5 or 6 regions in the United States. She is the CEO of the Northeast region. It goes from Maine to Virginia, 13 states. Think about that, 13 states she's responsible for, in an impossible task to keep everybody and to do the fundraising from Canada all the way down to Virginia. Debbie McKenzie, Director of Philanthropy. John Benzinger, the Public Relations Marketing Coordinator. Anna Marie Jacobson Bernier, Community Events Coordinator. Sue Parinello, Volunteer Coordinator. Alex Hutchinson, Apprentice Instructor, who you heard from. She was fantastic. And Danye Alvarado, Director of Philanthropy as well. Give them a big round of applause. On Veterans Day, we honor those who have served our country, who deserve our respect and admiration. Veterans Day is an important holiday. It is set aside for Americans to honor and pay respect to our brave and patriotic veterans, men and women who have made extraordinary sacrifices for our safety and freedom. Unfortunately, many discount the day's true meaning, viewing it as just a day off from work or an opportunity for store sales. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, the Great First World War came to an end. The end of this war was supposed to be the war to end all wars. However, we know that was not the case. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, an armistice went into effect, and both sides laid down their arms. President Woodrow Wilson declared the first Armistice Day to honor those who had died during the war. Armistice Day was commemorated throughout the country over the years, but it was not until 1938 that Congress made it an official holiday. In 1953, after World War II and the Korean War, a movement was started for all veterans on Armistice Day to be remembered, not just those who had served in World War I. President Dwight David Eisenhower signed a bill in 1954 to reflect this change, and since 1954, it has been known as Veterans Day. Whether you agree or disagree with any of America's policies and any of the wars, including the Korean War, Vietnam, Desert Storm, the wars in Iraq or Afghanistan, one thing we all know and share alike, and that is that all veterans have sacrificed for our freedoms. All veterans, both men and women, have protected us and have preserved the freedoms we all take for granted. The cost of freedom is priceless, and all veterans deserve our utmost respect and admiration. They have served our country so that we and our children can live in peace and with freedom that we so dearly cherish. All gave some gave all. Freedom is not free, and America is certainly the home of the brave, as evidenced by all our honorees here tonight. God bless all of the veterans here today, and special tribute to those veterans who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our country. Thank you, and God bless America. We started this program 11 years ago, and we've gotten committee members, and it's not easy to put on a performance like this, and I want to thank everybody here who's come and participated. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to the veterans here in the room. The main award, it was named for a good friend of mine, Corporal Matias Ferreira, who's seated here to my right. Matias, stand up, please. Matias, I don't know whether this is good or bad, but a spider just walked on my paper here. So you have a lot of control, the Marine Corps, over the Army. If you don't know Matias, he epitomizes what life is all about. And I call it the Hills factor. Honesty, integrity, loyalty, leadership, and service. The Hills factor. I don't care whether you're running a business, a sports team, or an event. If you have the Hills factor, you're going to be successful. And as I say, and I teach a leadership course at Hofstra, if you have integrity, nothing else matters. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. Matias served his country. He was with the United States Marines, served his country, Paris Island, did his boot camp, went overseas, and in Helmand Province one night, he was out on a patrol, stepped from one roof to another. There was an IED, and he lost both his legs. But he didn't quit. He went for many, many operations. He wears prosthetics. He participates with the Army softball team. He rides bicycle marathons, triathlons. He's running the Marine Corps marathon down in D.C. He never gives up. If you ever want it, if you feel bad one day, and we all do from time to time, you say, I can't believe what we're going through. You know, my boss is doing this, the coworkers are doing this, stock market is down, the Yankees lost, the Mets lost. I feel horrible. The Jets are winning. The Giants are winning. But you feel bad, you call it Matias, okay? Because he was the only police officer in the United States to have prosthetics and work a beat. Think about that. And on one of his first nights out, he's, obviously they have a program with the Suffolk County Police. You're partnered with a older veteran police officer, and they come upon a scene, and it was a car accident, a major car accident, and the person in the car accident lost his leg. The leg was severed. And the sergeant goes, what do we do? I've never seen anything like this. What do we do? And Matias is cool, calm, and collected. He goes, let's wrap it in ice. Let's call the police copter. We'll fly it out to Stony Brook. We'll try to attach it. And he saved the guy's leg. Look at that. He is a walking hero. So I just want to recognize him. And Matias, will you say a few words, not the Army-Navy words, but about the service, what it's meant to you. Love you, buddy. Love you.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? All right, good. Yeah, the Jets won. That's a miracle, right? We're happy when they win. We're happy when they lose, right? Take it either way. I'm truly blessed to be a part of this organization. I was talked into playing a golf outing one year with the colonel, and he told me a little bit about Canine Companions for Independence and what they do, and not what they just do, but what they commit to. The public asked for a specific thing, is to help veterans and how to do something to get them motivated and to feel back as if they were giving back to the community and finding their purpose again. Canine Companions didn't just say they were going to do something, they actually did it, okay? And now every single day it shows when veterans are walking into a room with confidence as they once were able to do before their injury or something that happened to them. That says a lot about an organization. It's not just about a t-shirt, it's not about making contacts, it's about actually doing something for veterans to feel like they're back at home. I always like to touch a little bit about Vietnam because I've gotten an opportunity to meet so many Vietnam veterans, and there have been many wars that we have fought. But the Vietnam veterans had a tough battle, not just away, but at home. And every single time I talk to a veteran who has served in Vietnam, they look at me straight in the eye and they go, "Son, you know why you guys are heroes and you're better than us?" And I go, "I can't even imagine." And as I sit there and look at this hero in the eyeballs, he tells me, "I wouldn't have done that again. You guys sign the dotted line and you go over and you fight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combat tours, and you do it because you want to do it. I didn't want to do this." And I look at that person and I look at them with the same way they looked at me, with admiration and respect. And really it's all about just setting the path and making sure that we set the example for the people that are coming after us. And I just want to say, if you're a Vietnam veteran out there, if you're a veteran at all, I just want to say thank you. But thank you very much for leading the way, because you paved the path for veterans to continue to do better and to take care of our own. That's how we're getting better. We're taking care of people that know exactly what it feels like to come home and not really know if you're really there or not. Somebody said something about being different earlier. We watched the video and he said, "I saw somebody and 10 minutes later, they look like a completely different person." Well, what this organization is doing is they're bringing in men and women, watching them come in with all of these insecurities and all these battles that they have to face. And now we have some of them sitting here tonight next to people that once they weren't able to do that anymore. So I just want to say thank you very much for letting me be a part of this, to continue to share my story, to hopefully bring more people onto the program and to continue to do better. So thank you very much for being here and being a part of it. Thank you.
You got a standing ovation.
No, I appreciate that. You get one all the time. Come on. This is what we're going to be giving out first.
This one.
Thank you. Please be seated. Enjoy the cheesecake.
I wrote his speech, by the way. Just want to let you know. You know, we talk about veterans, and as Matias said, when you walked in this room tonight, you know, some of you, probably it's the first time you've been to a veterans event. Others, you've been to hundreds. When you walk out of this room tonight, you're going to feel so proud to be an American. I don't care whether you're Democrat, Republican, who you are. Doesn't matter, okay? Because we're all here. We're fighting the battle. The battle's not really in the United States. The battle's overseas, which, if you knew what's going on around the world, you'd be amazed. And thank God for the servicemen who are up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, protecting us in parts of the world that you haven't even heard of. So we got to really respect it. Over 22 veterans commit suicide a day. Think about it, 22 veterans suicide a day. It is a pandemic that's been going on for years. The VA is trying to do their best, and they are working, but it's a tremendous illness, disease, and caused by post-traumatic stress disorder and the emotions that many of us have suffered throughout the years by being in overseas. Nobody comes back from war the same person. They may look the same, they may sound the same. You don't see them when they're alone. You don't see them when they're sleeping or what they're doing. Everybody's changed. Some a lot, some a little. But everybody it affects a little different. And I relate it to 9/11. Some people, you talk about 9/11, they were at the World Trade Center. Those who survived, it's like the day goes on. Others are really badly affected by it, post-traumatic stress. But everybody's affected. So we got to take care of veterans. When you see somebody, you know they're a veteran, just go up to them. I do it all the time. Thank you for your service. You feel so great. I feel humbled to serve with the heroes in this room. I was one of the fortunate ones. I had great men and women who served underneath me for 30 years, and we still keep in contact. So with that, we're going to get the program together and moving on concerning our honorees here tonight. Our first award recipient, and unfortunately is a World War II veteran, unable to be here tonight, but It's 95-year-old Thomas McTigue, who was a U.S. Navy veteran who served on the USS Shannon, as well as the presidential yacht of President Franklin Roosevelt during World War II. He was on a troop ship. He also served in gunnery school, and he received orders to go on the Liberty ship overseas on the USS Benjamin Stillman. He was transporting sulfur, which was a highly explosive chemical, and he would go through German U-boat areas, and he was lucky to be alive. Unfortunately, he came down with an illness and cannot be here tonight. He was a gunner's mate on the USS Shannon and assigned to one of the crewmen on the presidential yacht of President Roosevelt. The McTigue family is a Gold Star family. Tom's older brother was a pilot of the B-17 Flying Fortress. It was shot down. They were all POWs. And they finally, in 2019, found the remains of his body after 78 years. And it sort of, with the McTigue family, had closure of the oldest brother in the war. So we salute Tom McTigue for his service to World War II, who cannot be here tonight. But we have someone here tonight who we'd like to honor, and we have honored him in the past, but during the pandemic we couldn't. And obviously it's our famous saxophonist. Dominic, come on up. He's probably got his old one, okay? Dominic, you can stay there. I'm going to give you orders to stay at your seat, okay? Whenever I call up Dominic, I said, Dominic, I can't believe you're coming. I'm so humbled and honored for you to be here. He goes, Colonel, I'm honored. I said, no, you got it reversed. I'm honored, not you. I'll give you a brief rendition. He's 101 years old. I mean, just 101. Think how many candles his daughter has to buy each year. I mean, you talk about inflation, forget about it. You know. Anyway, Dominic was in the 95th Infantry Division, a member of the 377th Infantry Division Regiment, was an aviation liaison unit. Mr. Critelli's unit was the tip of the spear for General George S. Patton's Third Army, the Battle of the Bulge, as it stormed across northern France, the Rhineland, Belgium, and Germany. It was Critelli's job to keep aircraft flying, intelligence and reconnaissance missions, serving as the eyes for his artillery unit. In the winter of '44, Hitler launched his last offensive, which was known as the Battle of the Bulge. In November of '44, Critelli was one of the handful of men from the 377th Regiment to fly behind enemy lines in a small two-passenger observation aircraft to drop much-needed supplies. He was dropping blood plasma, blankets, socks, gloves, sleeping bags, and food on isolated American positions under aircraft fire. His mission was no joyride, as several dozen bullets pierced his two-seater aircraft. His heroic and meritorious service earned him the Air Medal. He spent 151 days in combat, was awarded the European, African, Middle East Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Stars, the American Theater Medal, and the World War II Victory Medal. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present Dominic Critelli as our World War II recipient. Over here, Don. He asked me if he could say a few words. I think at 101 he can say whatever he wants, okay?
Well, what I would like to say, first of all, I'm so happy to see all of you. And, of course, at 101, you're happy to see anyone. You know, I want to thank the Colonel, and I want to thank everybody here for inviting me. And I was happy to hear that the organization was going to have me here. And to be honest with you, anytime this organization asks me to do anything, I will do it. It's a wonderful organization. And these beautiful canine companions, I mean, first of all, the training alone costs $50,000. And they give it to the poor veterans, and the veterans are so. An amputated veteran, for instance, what would he do without them? And you know, I put myself in their place sometimes. And I say, my God, if I didn't have a dog, I would have to stay indoors and stay by myself, see no one. It would be a terrible world. And at least we have this organization to compensate for that. And I thank them very much. I thank Colonel.
That's the greatest generation right there. Our next award goes to Corporal Peter Finocchio, United States Army retired. 94-year-old Massapequa, New York resident Peter Finocchio was 16 years old when, with his parents' permission, he enlisted in the United States Merchant Marine. He served 2 years as a seaman during World War II, sailing cargo ships that carried gasoline, oil, ammunition, guns, food, and medicine to England, France, and Belgium. Peter's second introduction to the military began when North Korea invaded South Korea in June 1950. He was drafted at the age of 22 for his second tour. He was assigned the 297th Quartermasters and was sent overseas to Pusan, South Korea. The name of his ship was called Victory. Peter managed a warehouse in the 3rd Division on the front lines. He was housed in tents during the winter with temperatures 40 degrees below zero. Think about it, 40 degrees below zero. We complain about it being cold tonight. They used oil burners to heat their tents, but they had no oil. They used wood, paper, car oil, and anything that would burn. They slept in cots and their clothes to try to keep warm. They were allowed to take a shower once every 3 months. Peter remembers those nights being scary. The Koreans had a scare tactic that kept them up all night. It was called Bed Check Charlie. A fighter plane would come overhead and drop 1 bomb per night. Peter remembers that vividly. He was released from the Army with an honorable mention. He displays his proud medals at home that he proudly earned. Peter, I congratulate you for your service to your country. God bless you.
Fellow veterans, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your applause. I would do it again if I had to do it. It's a great country we live in.
The next award is the Corporal Matthew Rabel, United States Marine Corps Retired Service Award, given to Captain John Wehrum, Senior Esquire, United States Marine Corps. Unfortunately, John took ill and is unable to be with us tonight. John was a Vietnam veteran and had a distinguished career in the Nassau County District Attorney's Office, as well as the private sector, providing legal services to fellow veterans pro bono. He grew up in Freeport, attended Chaminade, and was part of the United States Marine Corps PLC program, Platoon Leaders Course. After graduating in '65, As a Marine First Lieutenant, he was transferred to Okinawa and served in the Amphibious Division. He qualified as a sniper. In '68, he was assigned to Vietnam, sent over there, and spent 2 months before he was injured. It was necessary for him to come back to the United States, where he was medically discharged from the United States Marine Corps with a letter of commendation from the Commandant. John attended the Catholic University of America School of Law and then worked for a prosecutor for over 20 years. He started a private practice with a significant amount of his time to provide legal service to veterans who could not afford it. So we'd like to congratulate John Wehrum for his service to our country. The next gentleman who also served in the United States Army during the Vietnam is James T. Brady, who served honorably in Vietnam during a one-year tour of duty in 1966. A native of Garden City, Specialist 4th Class Brady, who was stationed in Phu Loy, 20 miles northwest of Saigon, and served in the Field Artillery Unit supporting the 1st Infantry Division, which took hits every single day for his year that was there. It was rough, rough duty. It was the Big Red One. James and his crew carried out operations in a Chinook helicopter with a sling carrying a 105 millimeter howitzer underneath for total mobility. He was honorably discharged in August '67, returned home to Long Island, ran a very successful business. He received the Vietnam Service Medal, the Vietnam Campaign Medal, National Defense Service Medal, and Good Conduct Medal. As Matias said, when the Vietnam veterans came home after serving their country because they got drafted, they were treated like dirt. Let's face it. The Americans did not, whether you believed in the war or not, did not treat the soldiers well. And he has many memories of not only fighting in the war, but fighting in the war back in the United States. I was pleased to say after Desert Storm, we had the parade in the city down Broadway, and many of the veterans marched with us. It was their day to shine because of how we treated, how America treated them after Vietnam. Without further ado, Jim, come on up. I'd like you to say a few words. He's the head usher at St. Joe's Church. What? Jim Brady. Yeah, he's got his own, he's got his.
Thank you, Colonel Dave. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. Colonel Dave and I and Steve Woods, we all have one thing in common. You'll see us at the 5 o'clock Mass at St. Joe's. Steve and I are ushers, and we take the Colonel's money every week. This is the first time I've been to this event, and I know that COVID affected you. I really didn't know how great this organization was until I saw some of the videos. In my spare time, I'm on the board of RotaCare. RotaCare provides free medical help for the poor, for the working poor. We're based out of Hempstead, and I'm used to seeing and giving people things that they need, and that's their health. They're forever grateful, and I would just like to say, I'm preaching to the choir here, there's lots of charities asking you for money. If you go on charitynavigator.com, pick any charity you want, and they'll tell you how much money is spent administratively and how much money goes to the real people who could use it. This organization got one of the highest ratings they've ever seen. So, thank you very much.
The next award is the Staff Sergeant Sam Celia United States Army Retired Service Award. If those of you who know Sarge Celia, he lost his hand during operation over in Afghanistan and received one of our dogs many years ago, has moved down to Florida, and he's fought the battle with PTSD in addition. He was a motivational speaker, and you know, the stresses of coming back, as the young soldiers said on the TV, when you come back on the video, when you come back from war, it is a honeymoon period. You come back, you think things are going to be done for you, taken care of you, and so forth, and then all of a sudden it's like the bottom falls out. You know, what do I do? What do I work? Are they going to receive me? How are they going to receive me? The workplace, the civilian, my family, and so forth. You know, you're used to being shot at or scudded or whatever. Something happens at home and you hear noises, you hear helicopters, you hear parades, you hear noises, it changes you. And Sam fought those battles, and he's going through a battle right now, I know that. And my heart and my prayer goes out to him. But this award is named for him, and our recipient tonight is Corporal Ken Frey, who joined the United States Marine Corps after Desert Storm in 1992 and served overseas from 1993 to 98 in Iraq. He began his career in the Marines as an MP and then was meritoriously promoted to E4 specialist and then promoted to the Military Intelligence Corps. He was awarded the Silver Star in 1994 for heroic actions in combat. You don't get the Silver Star unless you're a real hero in the military arena. It's not something you ask for. You get it because of your service by your fellow servicemen. He received that in 1994. He graduated in 2021 from Canine Companions with his highly trained service dog, Zeus. He's a member of AMVETS Post 48 in Ronkonkoma. He works for United Veterans Home Beacon House. He counsels homeless numbers of veterans, helping them to become more self-sufficient and returning them to society. He met his volunteer, Donna E., and her canine companion dog, Laszlo, who you see. Where is Donna E.? Over there to the right. She's got more enthusiasm than everybody in this room combined. Got to break her out of her shell. And they met each other, and they help other people at the Northport VA with getting through the battles of post-traumatic stress disorder. His dog is a 3-year-old yellow lab who was specially bred and trained by Canine Companions to help with the post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms. It's changed his life in every single way. And without further ado, I'd like to award Ken, the recipient of the Sam Celia Award, for your distinguished service.
Thank you very much. I am both honored and humbled. I did not know exactly what this was going to be like. If you didn't just hear me, I'm both honored and humbled to be here with all the other vets and everybody at Canine Companions. It's not just, you know, you get chosen, you get a dog, and you leave. They're there all the time. I still bring my dog back there to run in the yard to have his toenails clipped because I'm scared to do it. It was one of the most, just the best thing that could have happened at the time. I was not in a good place, and they pulled me through that. And this dog is a miracle in itself. He is a nighttime dog. If I'm having combat nightmares, he grabs the blanket, pulls it up around my head, and then snuggles his neck right on my shoulder and lets me know that he's there. So I love canine companions. I will continue to do whatever I can for them, for the rest of my life. And thank you all for coming out, and thank you.
Our final recipient, and the recipient of the Colonel E. David Woycik and Corporal Matias Ferreira Award, is Eileen Shanahan. Eileen, come on up. Eileen is founder and president of Warrior Ranch Foundation. She is an American who recognizes that freedom is precious, yet not free. For nearly 20 years, Eileen has studied natural horsemanship with great horsemen and women such as John Lyons, Pat and Linda Parelli, Buck Brannaman, and Josh Lyons. This has given Eileen a path of leadership with her horses and in life. She loves her country, love of horses, and desire to give back, and she founded the Warrior Ranch Foundation, and they have the horse farm out in Riverhead on Edwards Avenue. And every October, they have their annual fundraiser and fall festival, and if you haven't been there, put it on your calendar for the first weekend in October, and you'll get to hear Matias again speak and myself speak for the Warrior Ranch Foundation. It is a tremendous event. Horse people, you don't have to like horses, but if you like horses, you'll see them, and they save horses and raise horses. It's tremendous, and she'll tell you more about it. But she's been shooting, editing, and producing television programs and commercials for the last 30 years. She includes a Cable Ace Award winning called Long Island Magazine, as well as Telly Award winning Talking Horses and Neighborhood Journal. She has won several editing awards. She's worked for Cablevision. She's worked for various other organizations. And she did this tremendous award documentary called One Soldier, One Horse. And without further ado, she is so worthy of this award. Although she did not serve in the military, she takes care of military veterans, first responders. And if you ever know of anybody who needs help or assistance, call her up and go out to the ranch. And it'll relieve stress. It's a stress reliever. She cares about her country. She cares about the people she serves. She's passionate. And without further ado, congratulations on being the recipient of this year's award.
No, thank you very much. It's very extraordinarily humbling for me to be standing here with the group of men and women who serve this great country, and I thank you all for your service. And thank you, Colonel Dave and Matias, for inviting me here tonight. It's definitely an honor. And what a great organization Canine Companions is. Yeah, absolutely outstanding. You know, these highly trained service dogs do what we take for granted. Us able-bodied people, we take for granted if we drop our keys, we can pick them up and get them. And it's just amazing. And the credit all goes to the trainer, Kelly, where'd she go? There she is. Outstanding training. Round of applause for Kelly. What she showed us was incredible, because that's no easy task. It was several years ago, Canine Companions started working with dogs and PTS. And PTS is finally being recognized and addressed. And not only that, also the importance of the role that animals play in healing those with PTS. It's Canine Companions has pretty much led the charge with the dogs in this area too, so that's fantastic. Now, Deb and Dawn came out to Warrior Ranch about a month or so ago with one of the puppies, a really cute little guy, and we've gotten to know each other and to know about each other's organizations. And there's a lot of commonalities that we have, especially in the animals and in our programs. Like, for example, as you saw before, a dog is able to pick up subtle cues. If their human companion is nervous and is tapping their fingers or picking the nails or something, the dog will come and alert their human companion by putting their head on their leg and applying pressure, and then the human comes out of whatever anxiety they can and they start becoming aware of their surroundings. And they interrupt that behavior. That's what they're able to do, and the person now becomes aware of what they're doing. What's common about that is the horses too, they too pick up on our emotions, though we don't necessarily ask them to interrupt the way a dog would, because they're 1,000 pounds and that might run into some issues. Now, it was out of love of country and love of horses that this foundation began. Warrior Ranch's first demonstration was held on May 31st, 2017, and Colonel Dave was there and has not left our side since. And we are grateful for that. And what he didn't tell you in that documentary was he had a major part in that documentary that we did a couple of years ago. There have been many folks along the way that helped make Warrior Ranch happen. A few of them are here tonight at those tables over there. I'd just like to give them a round of applause and say thank you. So I am very grateful for the relationship with Deb, Dawn, and all the Canine Companion team here. Matias has come out and helped us out a few times because we do have to, as you know, Matias wears prosthetics, and we do have to desensitize horses to that as well, and Matias has helped us out with that. We are greatly appreciative. Once again, I want to thank Colonel Dave and Canine Companions, a great organization helping veterans regain their independence, and I thank you so much for this award tonight. I am truly humbled. If anybody would like to come out or find out more information about the ranch, or if you want to, have your kids just come out for a day and check it out, give us a call at the ranch. Our website is warriorranchfoundation.org. Just call us and we'll, see what we can do to accommodate anybody here. And we love the veterans that are here today. Please come on out. We'd love to see you.
Thank you to board members for the Canine Companions Northeast Region. President Eva Lemire, Eva in the back. God bless. Nick Pascarosa, our past president. Denise Michaels, new member. Chris Lombardi. And Susan Winters, okay? Give them a big round of applause. Thank you for coming, and God bless the United States.